Hi, everybody. I'm Dave.
And I'm John.
And this is Coffee and Capes, our podcast about two of our most favorite things, talking about coffee and talking about geek culture.
Yeah, it is. This, by the way, is episode 30.
Yes, we were, I'm bad at math. What can I tell you, folks? It's why I'm in the humanities fields.
100%, man.
I dropped out of the engineering track after my freshman year, and it was for good reason.
I stopped going to my final math class in undergrad school when, after speaking to the professor, he informed me I could not show up anymore and still get a C.
Oh.
And I said, yes,
Deal.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Math makes my head hurt.
Yeah. We're bad at math. This is episode 30. We're glad to have you on the journey with us. And whatever way you found us, we're so glad to have you here. Not like here physically, but here.
Yeah. Metaphysically, whatever. It all works.
Whatever. Anyway, we're glad you found us. Whatever method you found us in, there are others. So yes. John's going to give the rundown because that's what we do.
Yep, that's what we do. So if you're watching us, you either found us on YouTube.
Hi.
Or you went to our website at coffee, the letter N and the word capes. So coffeeandcapes.com. You can go there and read blogs that we've posted. You can go there and watch, YouTube videos of our podcast, whatever kind of floats your boat. We're a little behind on getting all the videos fed into the website, but you can go back and watch the old one. You may be listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, your mom's headphones. I don't know. You're listening to us somewhere, and thanks a lot for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Make sure you tell your friends because sharing is caring.
And then give your mom's headphones back if you're listening on your mom's headphones. She needs them too.
She may need them. And then, of course, we're on social media. So we're on Instagram at coffee_the letter N_capes. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on things. So we're not on the TikTok, guys. Sorry. I think we're too old.
We're old. Yeah. We're banned.
I think they're
for being old.
Like with most things, there's a minimum age requirement. I'm pretty sure TikTok has a maximum age requirement. We have far exceeded that. And then, of course, guys, you can email us. So you can either email us through our website, again, coffeeandcapes.com, or you can just send us an email directly, supers@coffeeandcapes.com, SUPERS. And I think that about covers it.
That does about cover it. Thank you, John, for running down the propers. Hey, what are you drinking today?
So I am drinking the Trinity.
So am I. I'm drinking the Trinity.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers to Trinity.
So the Trinity, guys, is probably one of our favorites. I
always feel bad saying that. Like it's
coffee
like,
doesn't have feelings, right?
It's okay to drink coffee. It doesn't have any feelings.
Yeah.
Is it like fish that way?
Fish have feelings. They don't like being flushed down the toilet.
I'm just quoting the song, man.
I don't know the song.
Yes, you do. It's in Batman. It's in the Batman. Anyway, never mind.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just not connecting. But the Trinity, guys, it's actually a single origin coffee, but it's roasted. We roast it 3 different ways so that there's a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast in there. So you get the caffeine that you're looking for. You get like that nice, like dark roast flavor. There's some kind of fruity aspects to it. It's a really, really solid coffee. And I enjoy it a ton.
As do I. Yeah, it
is a fan favorite.
It is indeed. It's fan favorite in our household as well.
And as you can see, Dave's got our traditional podcast mug. Mine was dirty, so I've got the light roast mug.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't say the coffee and those mugs available on our website, coffeeandcapes.com.
And I've got a little bit of a coffee bomb in mind from our friends over at Ladybird Provisions. I feel like we've missed out the last few times, like giving a shout out to Nicole and Sarah. So shout out to Nicole and Sarah at Ladybird Provisions. Thanks for keeping us going with those awesome coffee bombs. They pair really well with the coffee.
They do. I need to get some more of those. So I've got a little. I just want to. It's not exactly our fan fiction yet, but just some response we've had from the coffee that a friend of mine shared her some of her espresso with her niece, who said, "I made my iced coffee with that coffee from Pastor Dave." That's me, and it's the best iced coffee ever. So thank you, Rebecca, for that little review, and we're so glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks so much. Well, now we are moving on officially to fan fiction.
Yeah.
And so a few days ago, we posted something in regards to like Green Lantern, right? And we got a lot of responses on this one.
That wasn't just posting something. That was last week's episode where we talked about
yes,
movies that we think are maybe better than you've been led to believe.
Yeah.
Or movies that we enjoy more than most people.
Movies that we enjoy more than most people. And we got a ton of responses, like literally a ton. But I think the one I'm going to shout out today is from Hops and Heroes. Check them out on Instagram. So they're one of my favorite accounts to follow. They're a lot of fun. But just talking comic book movies, they said Affleck's Daredevil. I loved it. Eternals. We've discussed this one. Mm-hmm. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Not going to win any Oscars, but it's a super fun movie. And as I looked at a list of the worst comic book movies ever, I realized I never saw the latest Fantastic Four. Maybe in the spirit of this post, I'll go watch that this week. Cheers. So, yeah, looking at that list, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I love that movie.
I don't really remember it, to be honest. I remember that Sean Connery was in it.
And he wasn't a Spaniard.
So that's a step in the right direction right there.
He was geographically appropriate.
It's better.
Yeah. I have to throw this out there too, that there are a number of aspects about Affleck's Daredevil that I actually really enjoyed.
I agree. Yeah.
The follow-up Elektra movie, not so much.
No, but I thought Jennifer Garner was decent as Elektra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it suffered from like bad writing.
Well, I don't mean the movie itself. I mean like her role as Elektra in the Daredevil movie.
Yeah, that was great. The Elektra movie had bad writing.
No, it was not good.
It was a little bit ahead of itself in terms of like bringing that character, I think, to her own standalone movie.
Yeah, I'd say that's right. Yeah. Well, I'm blanking on the name of the actor that plays Elektra in the Daredevil TV show and Defenders.
I don't remember.
I think she's terrific in that role.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Dave.
Yay.
What are we talking about?
What there was Hops and Heroes that gave us that. Is that right?
Hops and Heroes, yeah.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, Elodie Young, that's her name. Elodie Young, right. Terrific as Elektra. Today we're gonna have some fun. Well, I think we have some fun every time, but we thought there's this phenomenon that happens in geek culture movies where we tend to keep seeing some of the same actors over and over again. And we just think that's kind of interesting and fun and honestly a little weird in some cases. But we thought we'd spend some time talking about actors that we've noticed who either play multiple roles in the same geek universe or have played multiple roles or have played roles in multiple universes.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
So for instance, we're going to start with a few. I think we're going to start with a few actors who have been multiple characters in the Marvel universe. Yeah. And then we've got some actors that have been in multiple franchises, maybe is a better word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, across geek culture, I think it's important to point out, right? And geek culture is kind of expansive. So it is. When we talk about geek culture, sure, Marvel, DC kind of falls into that, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that definitely, goes into that realm as well. Because Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, there's a ton. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. So it does kind of go on and on. But yeah, we'll start with folks who've played multiple roles inside of the same universe. And I think the first one we have to talk about is the one that stands out because of how often now we've seen him in his most current role and how iconic it was. And that's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think you can start the conversation any other way. Chris Evans as Captain America it's literally iconic. I'm excited to see.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So good.
Excited to see Anthony Mackie's take on it. Anthony Mackie's another one who's played, a few roles inside of some geek culture stuff. But I don't know.
So in addition to, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know how many people realize Chris Evans' career in Marvel, however, started a number of years ago.
He was Johnny Storm, Human Torch, in the first Fantastic Four movie. You're forgiven if you did not remember that or did not see it.
Yeah.
Because it was not great.
No. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the most recent one. Right. And I got to admit that he was kind of a bright spot in those movies as the Human Torch. It was fun to watch him in CGI. He was definitely like cocky and everything else.
And the sideburns, man. Oh, those sideburns.
Pretty epic, right? Pretty epic. But overall, that, I don't think we have to beat that horse down at all. But, the other thing is he was in The Losers, which is a comic book.
Yeah.
Right? He was in The Losers.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was the techie nerd guy. I can't remember his name in the movie, but he was a lot of fun in that too. Like, it's got one of my favorite scenes in a movie where he's going up to get like information from a computer in an office building, and he's listening to Don't Stop Believing by Journey. I feel like that song makes everything good.
Sure.
But it's just Chris Evans being a clown, and he was so good at being a clown when he was younger. Right. And I'm sure he still is. But I think that was kind of some of my nervousness and hesitation around the idea of him being Captain America, was he had always been kind of this cocky clown, character. He was definitely a little typecast.
Well, I'm glad he got over that. We're all benefit from him getting that Captain America role.
100%. All right, Dave.
Well, let's stay with the Fantastic Four family, and let's mention Michael B. Jordan, who has also played Johnny Storm, Human Torch, in what is also a pretty disappointing movie, to say the least, but had a terrific turn as Eric Killmonger in Black Panther. Yeah. And has been continued to be the voice of Killmonger in What If, and I don't know if he somehow comes back and has a role in the new upcoming Black Panther movie. We'll see, but
be great if he did.
Yes, it would, because he's terrific, and he was terrific as Killmonger.
He really was. Like, he wasn't over the top. He was very believable. He was strong and motivated in his own, what he viewed as his own, push towards justice against his father having been cast out from Wakanda and everything else.
And I think we've talked about that before, but that's what makes for a good villain. And that's why, to me, he's in the upper echelon of good Marvel villains, because it was a complicated story. He wasn't just, oh, I'm evil and I'm going to kill everybody, or at least half of everybody. It's, you understood where he was coming from and why he wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you could you could sympathize with him some.
100%. Right.
Yeah, really good.
There was definitely some points where you could empathize with him. However, as Johnny Storm, you could not. That movie was doomed worse than Victor.
Thank you very much.
It's pretty punny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not go down. We may have to do an episode on the worst movies that geek culture has ever put out.
Oh boy. Why would we do that to ourselves?
Because I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you're probably
fun,
right.
To kind of rank those movies, like the worst movies that geek culture has ever put out. I don't know that there's one, going back to last episode, I don't know that there's one worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I don't think I saw that, but I would, as I said last week, I would have to put Highlander 2 in the running for worst movie of all time.
I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna give you a homework assignment.
Okay.
Like, go to HBO Max, see if you can find Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and if you can make it through 10 minutes without gagging, finish the movie and tell me what you think.
Fair enough.
But I'm gonna predict you get 10 minutes in and go, yeah, this is terrible, and I don't.
Not worth my time.
Yeah.
I've got better things to do. All right. Well, I was thinking we should stay for a bit in the those playing multiple roles in the same universe category.
Okay.
Before we expand, do you have any others you wanted to bring up for that?
In the same universe?
Yeah.
Man, I have a hard time with that one.
Okay, so I got a couple for you.
Right. What do you got?
Oscar Isaac right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Apocalypse in the not great, but not terrible X-Men Apocalypse movie. It wasn't terrible.
It was bad.
Okay. It was
bad. They butchered some of my favorite characters.
Yeah, okay.
Butchered them. What was up with Angel?
I don't know.
Why was Warren Worthington in every iteration except when he finally becomes Archangel is like the playboy, like rich billionaire kid, super pretty. Everybody's like, oh, Warren Worthington, right? And a little bit of self-loathing. And no, we get like drunk 1980s like hairband guy in a leather coat cage fighting.
Yeah, okay, that's
WTF, guys.
Fair enough. All right, but he's also sticking with the Egyptian theme. He's also Moon Knight. So apparently, Oscar Isaac is here to play all the Egyptian connected characters in Marvel universe.
And so this is a Disney property, and Moon Knight's a Disney property, and X-Men
are now a Disney property. Everything. I mean, everything's
He's also Poe Dameron,
of course. Yeah.
In Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, he crosses that boundary as well.
Yeah, he crosses that boundary as well. And I'd like to point out, I'm sensing a pattern right now with some of the people that we've thrown out, and that is bad movie, and then good movie. Yeah. Chris Evans, bad movie.
Yeah.
Great. Oscar Isaac, bad movie. Lots of fun in Moon Knight. Like,
yeah. All right, I'll buck that trend. How about this? Haley Steinfeld as the voice of Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Terrific movie. One of the best movies ever.
Hands down.
And then also, of course, Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye TV show.
She's great in both. Both, like the Hawkeye TV show is phenomenal, absolutely fantastic. To your point, Spider-Verse is just
amazing,
spectacular, superior in every way. Yeah, it's just so good, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that, I don't know how many times, but yeah, she went good, like started out great, and just continued on. So I gotta agree, like that bucks the trend easily. So way to go, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, I got one more for you that's somewhere in between those, and that's Gemma Chan, who we first saw as in a small role as Minerva in the Captain Marvel movie, which there's a character they didn't do quite enough with. Like Minerva's in the books, Minerva's a kind of a upper echelon, upper tier antagonist for Carol Danvers.
Okay.
And she kind of was just on the periphery, and a fairly forgettable role. I don't really recall her doing much
Right.
in the movie, but then she was headliner as Cersei in Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Like, you could for sure see those two characters ending up needing to end up in the same place at the same time in a future Marvel product or production. So how obviously they're not going to, or else they'd recast one of them, probably Minerva. But
yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Imagine.
How does one actor end up with two roles that are so
in the same universe?
Yeah, I mean, even more so than Apocalypse and Moon Knight, because Apocalypse started out as X-Men, which was Sony, and before Disney bought them along with everybody else.
Right.
Well, and same with Evans and Jordan, right? Those were the Fantastic Four movies were Fox or something.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fantastic movies. Yeah, the Fantastic. Well, and that's because Marvel years ago, and when comic books were kind of on their womp phase,
Yeah,
sold a bunch of properties to stay afloat, to be able to get them through, right? And
right.
I mean, thank God they did, despite like some of the terrible movies we got out of that. Oh, we're rabbit holing, but despite some of the terrible movies that we got out of that, they saved comic books because the interest in comic books like spiked.
Yeah.
And now, right, we get the whole spec world of people looking at like what's coming out, what's coming up, and what comic books are key issues in that character's storyline. And comic books collecting has become a very popular and very profitable business again.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's great. It's just it's kind of interesting how I just realized, like, of the examples we've given so far, she's the only one truly in the same like created universe,
right?
Not ones that just kind of ended up together,
right? Yeah, for sure.
That's all right. Well, and I could not think of any intra DC characters like that, or actors like that.
I think there's probably reason for that.
Yeah,
we don't have to mention the reason, but I think there's probably a reason for that. But
I take it back. You know who is?
Who?
You know who is? I think it's Brandon Routh, who played Superman in in Superman Returns, and now is, I don't watch the show, but in the
Is he the
Atom?
Adam, and
is he Palmer in
Palmer in Legends of Tomorrow?
Yeah,
you're right. He's the only one I can think of now at this moment.
Yeah,
there's probably more, but I mean, I'm not going to rack my brain at this given point in time.
Yeah.
When we have there's so many people that have cross
franchises.
Yeah, cross franchises. I mean, we were talking about it before the show, and like
everybody on your screen.
Everybody on my screen is Star Trek Into the Darkness. And like we talked about, Zachary Quinto, right, played Spock in this series, but he also got his start in the show Heroes, which, I consider it to be geek culture. It was,
oh yeah, for sure.
Started out super strong and amazing and kind of petered off towards the end. Like
it got hurt by that writer strike that happened right at that time.
They got hurt by the writer strike. We got Chris Pine, who, back to your statement earlier about Haley Steinfeld, was the voice of Peter Parker in this animated Spider-Verse movie.
Right. Yes.
Right. And then he's played Captain Kirk across 3 movies, going into number 4. They're getting ready to make a 4th one. And he was Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Right. So
and he was the ghost of Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman 84.
That's so weird.
It just didn't make any sense.
They should have just grabbed Whoopi Goldberg for that. Like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Like, make fun of yourself a little bit. Grab Whoopi Goldberg and be like, "Hey, can you be the incarnated version of Steve Trevor for us, please? At some point, Wonder Woman's gonna massage your shoulders."
Pottery will be involved.
Pottery will be involved. Yeah. Zoe Saldana.
Yes.
I don't know if there is an actor that has crossed. She's like the queen of geek culture movies.
He really is.
She was in Star Trek, obviously, as Uhura. She was in The Losers as well, like with Chris Evans. She's in Guardians of the Galaxy as Gamora. She was in, what else has she been in? She's been in so much stuff. I can't even think of it anymore. But
Well, and Avatar. Oh,
that's right.
She's
in Avatar.
Main person in Avatar. Just running down her IMDb, like it's so much of it. And here, what constitutes geek culture? Like what counts as a geek culture movie? But
sure,
and she's been in a lot. Rosemary's Baby. I don't
think that counts as geek culture, buddy.
Okay, fair enough.
And then we got Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Yes. Who played Khan.
Oh, My Little Pony. Does My Little Pony count?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
So Benedict Cumberbatch played Khan. He played Sherlock Holmes in a phenomenal run of that show. And of course, as we know, right, is Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And he was the voice of Smaug in the Hobbit movies.
The Hobbit, right.
Yeah. So, he's got his show. And then we were talking about right before we started recording, Carl Urban.
I did not remember how much stuff he was in.
Me either. But Carl Urban, who plays Dr. McCoy in the Star Trek movies, and those of us that love this series, The Boys.
Yes.
He's in The Boys. He was in Judge Dredd. He was in Thor Ragnarok. He was in Riddick. He was in Doom. He's in Lord of the Rings. What else did we find he was in? He was in Star Wars as a stormtrooper. He was a voice in Batman Death in the Family.
Yes, right.
He has been in a ton of like
Scourge. He's Scourge in Thor.
There you go, Scourge. Yep, he was Scourge. So he's been in a ton of like geek culture stuff as well. So I mean, yeah, it's just like this movie had a lot of those folks on display. So
did you mention Doom? Anyway, he was in Doom.
Yeah, he was in Doom. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. But Dave,
all right, so here's my my entry for the other queen of geek culture, and that's Rosario Dawson, as you can see on my screen here. As the picture shows and reminds us, she of course was terrific as Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars in the Mandalorian, and then in Book of Boba Fett, and is supposed to be getting her own show, I think.
Yep.
Which will be terrific. She was in literally every single one of the Marvel Netflix shows as Claire Temple. She was in Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Defenders and Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Was she in? Did she even maybe make an appearance in Punisher?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but still 5 out of the 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So she has a true presence in Marvel. And then she was she's been the voice of Wonder Woman in the most recent DC animated movies. I haven't watched this TV show DMZ, but it's a DC product. I can't say I know anything about it, but she's the lead character. She's the lead character in that.
It's okay.
Okay. Prior to being the voice of Wonder Woman, she was the voice of Barbara Gordon Batgirl in the Lego Batman movie. Prior to being Wonder Woman and Batgirl, she was the voice of Artemis in one of the first on Wonder Woman.
A lot of voiceover work.
Animated movies, yeah. And then, expand out a little bit. She was in the Sin City movies. She was in Josie and the Pussycat, and she was in Men in Black too. Like, she is she's all over the place and she's terrific in all of them. She's just an
Yeah.
amazing actor.
Sin City is a great movie, by the way.
It really, truly is.
The first one.
Yeah.
You know what wasn't a great movie? The Spirit.
I forgot about The Spirit.
You're
I
welcome.
remember being entertained by it.
Were you sick?
Maybe.
Okay, fair enough. I did not like that movie. It felt to me like, once again, somebody's like, Sin City did well.
Yeah. Let's make a movie that looks just like it.
Mm-hmm.
But PG-13 and weirder, maybe. Which is saying a lot if you're weirder than Sin City.
Yeah, and less linear.
Yeah.
More abstract and not in a good way.
Yeah. Anyway, let's cover over that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What else you got on your list, John?
Well, we brought him up already, but Ben Affleck, he played, right? He was Daredevil.
Yep.
And then he was Batman.
Yes.
I don't know that he kind of went from a movie that was widely panned into another movie series that's been widely panned. But I feel like he catches a lot of blame that isn't his, because if you go back and you watch the original Daredevil movie, I actually think he does well. Granted, they dyed his hair to be red, and I think they could have gotten away without that.
Yeah.
I don't think that was so important.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You look at Charlie Cox, and I don't think Charlie Cox's hair is red.
I've never once thought about his hair.
But to your point, and you've made this point with him in regards to Batman, he has a physicality to be a superhero.
Yes.
Right. And you go back and watch the original Daredevil, that opening scene where he's in the biker bar or whatever, the bad guy hangout is phenomenal.
It really is.
So well done. It has some things that I was like, Colin Farrell's in that too, by the way.
Yes.
Who has now been in Batman as well.
So he's Bullseye and Penguin, two pretty iconic bad guys.
Yeah, two pretty iconic bad guys. He's a great scene in Daredevil with the whole peanut on the airplane thing.
Right.
Do you want anything else? More peanuts, please. Yeah. So, and then again, and we've talked about this, so I don't think we need to hash it out a ton, is, he was a solid Batman, just time displaced in terms of the storyline he was dropped into.
Right.
So again, I don't think that was his fault. And I don't think that, it's fair that people bag on him for it, because I think if you go in and you watch it objectively just to see him play those roles, he does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
He really does.
Truly. For sure. Well, sticking with the Batman universe, how about Michael Keaton, who was our kicked off the cinematic Batman franchise again back in 89, and most recently we've seen as Vulture.
That's right. He also played he was in I think it's considered an indie flick, Birdman.
I was gonna say, and he's Birdman. Yes, I really like that movie. Now, I mean,
I've never watched it.
Really, it's good.
Yeah, I don't
know if it. I'm pretty sure it won.
It won some awards.
Yeah, I think it might have even won the Best Picture Oscar.
I don't know. I'd have to go back.
That might have been a reach, but I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a terrific movie. Which is a movie. That's really going on a limb for me. Here's a movie that was at least nominated for Best Picture, and here's Dave saying it's really good. Yeah, thank you very much. That's terrific analysis. But no, it's the gimmick was it was all done in one shot, or at least it's shot in a way that appears all done in one shot.
Huh.
And Edward Norton's actually really good in it without being annoying.
He's a good actor.
He is. He just has a way of being grating, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you ever want to watch him at the peak of his acting? American History X.
Yes.
That's one of the most heartbreaking and brilliant
movies
I've ever seen.
Oh, speaking of that, so here's a connection. Edward Norton and Rosario Dawson. Not exactly a geek movie, but not at all a geek movie, but 25th Hour
Oh yeah, I watched
with
that one.
Spike
That's a good
Lee.
one.
Like,
I
oh,
forgot she was in
so
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those, like, it's, yeah, that's not a geek culture movie. Man,
No.
good movie. We'll have to do like outside of geek culture,
Yeah.
like, movies that we enjoy. Um, so you had Ben Affleck, uh,
Oh, Michael Keaton, also
Michael
voice of
Keaton.
Ken in in the Toy Story movies.
Oh, nice. That's a kid's movie. I don't know that I put that in the geek culture,
Okay. Fair
but
enough.
it's a good movie. Toy
Yeah.
Story. Michael Keaton, yeah, and he's gonna come back as Batman,
Right. Yeah.
supposedly in the Flashpoint movie.
If that
That
ever actually gets released.
I don't know, man. All the things around Ezra Miller right now.
Yeah. What's going
Yeah,
on with that
he,
dude? Somebody have a talk with that guy.
yeah, he's been arrested a couple times. He was just arrested this last week and
I saw that.
or something like that.
Who else you got? What other actors stand out to you as being across franchises and universes?
Well, you can't talk about Green Lantern and not bring up Ryan Reynolds, right? It again, like I said, I enjoyed him as Hal Jordan. I
Yeah.
enjoyed him as Green Lantern, but
The role he was born to play.
yeah, man, I think we can all agree that Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is probably the most perfect casting out of any character in any movie from any franchise.
I think I can't argue with that. I think Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man might want to, and Tony Stark might want to have a word with you on that one. But
Still great. I agree with you. Like phenomenal. Yes, RDJ is Tony Stark, but come on, man.
yeah.
Despite Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, you watch Deadpool and he is Deadpool.
The thing is, he's been playing that character in every movie since
Van Wilder. He started out as Deadpool, like in the right world. He and man, I'm so glad they greenlit that movie and that we got to see Ryan Reynolds like fully embrace that role, because when we got him in Wolverine,
I was going to say, so how about that? So here's an odd twist to our little category here, is that he played the same character in two different universes, and one was god awful, horrible, the worst thing you've ever seen, and the other one was like the best depiction of a character we've seen.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that. So I don't know that Ryan Reynolds was god awful horrible as Deadpool. However,
in X-Men Origins,
he wasn't god awful horrible as Deadpool.
He was the merc with a mouth who didn't talk.
You didn't let me finish, dude.
All right.
Relax for a second.
No.
In the scenes where we got Ryan Reynolds, he was awesome. Like when he was wielding swords going into the office and killing everybody, he's like, okay, everybody's dead now. Like he's perfect. That's what sparked everybody's like, oh, I just want to see him, like let him have Deadpool. Let him and then the writing turned him into like something else. And little known fact, the guy at the end with his mouth covered up is not Ryan Reynolds. It was somebody else completely.
I did not know that.
Yep. So you can't blame Ryan Reynolds for that.
Oh, I don't. I'm just saying the
up to
like,
where they did that to him.
Yeah.
Come on. Standing in the elevator, trapped in an elevator with a bunch of guys on a high protein diet.
That's pretty good. No, you're right. It's pretty good. But it is interesting that he played the same character in such very different ways, or was given such very different venues for the same character.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so good.
God, I will never forgive them for the sword sliding out and the mouth covered up and the eye beams from Cyclops. God damn you, Fox. Curse you
to hell.
All right, Dave. Who else you got?
How about what's some well, I think we got one really big one still out there, but I'm gonna save that. How about we go how about Natalie Portman?
Oh yeah, Natalie Portman, Queen Amidala, and Jane Foster.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
You looked like you forgot that for a second.
No. I was thrown off by Amidala. Isn't that the? Isn't that
Padme? Queen Amidala. She's Queen Amidala, dude.
Isn't it Padme?
Yes, but in the very first one, she's Queen Amidala.
Okay. Isn't Amidala the name of the
Oh.
princess from Buck Rogers?
No.
Are you sure?
Don't believe so.
Okay. I don't know. Anyway.
It's Padme Amidala.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah. Don't challenge me on that one, buddy.
I'm not challenging you. That's what took me back, because I swear like the Buck Rogers one is Amidala or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched Buck Rogers in decades.
Well, neither have I, but come on, man.
I just remember Tweaky.
Yeah, Buck.
I had to go back and watch that, because I bet you that is just a horribly cheesy.
Of course it is, but
outfit
so
right now.
It's so great,
but so amazing, just so amazing. But yeah, so Natalie Portman, and man, she's gonna. I can't wait for Thor: Love and Thunder now.
The quick look we saw of her as Thor. Look out, man! She looks ready to crush some skulls.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be great with Mjolnir recreated somehow. Like there better be a good story there,
right? If not, bad people.
Yeah,
bad people.
Yep. How about Willem Dafoe, who we had as Green Goblin, and then also as whatever his name was, Aquaman's teacher mentor person in the DC.
Yeah, I think his official IMDb title is Aquaman's teacher mentor thing.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
He probably has a name. It wasn't important enough for me to remember.
No, really wasn't. And I think we can talk about, you look through like some of the other stuff. So I'm going to go back to The Losers, because The Losers is a property of, I can't remember if it's DC or Marvel. But it was a comic book. Yeah. And oh man, hold on. I gotta look it up now.
I want to say DC.
Maybe. Let's see. But the important thing is, there it is. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Also, Idris Elba's in that.
Oh man. Oh, how about
Idris Elba was in The Losers. Idris Elba was in the second Ghost Rider movie.
Okay. And of course, he's Heimdall in the MCU.
So there's another one that played multiple roles within the same universe, because Ghost Rider is a Marvel.
Yeah, true.
Right. Yeah. So he was in, and we just recently watched both Ghost Rider movies again, because I was curious after our last. So I'm going to say this: the first one held up way better than the second one did. The second one's a little meh, but the first one is really good. I still like the first one. Yeah. But Idris Elba was in the second one. He was in Losers. He was in, to your point, he was in Thor, and the Thor series as Heimdall. He's been in, I feel like there's more stuff. Well, he's gonna play. Oh, he was in Suicide Squad.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I forgot about the fact he was in Suicide Squad. He was in a movie, Pacific Rim,
right?
Which I 100% put into geek culture, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Interestingly enough, he is listed as having had a role in Guardians of the Galaxy. Hold, please. Talk about the things you would like to talk about amongst yourselves while we investigate. How is he? I don't remember him.
Unless was there a snippet of Heimdall in one of the Galaxy movies?
I don't know. But interestingly enough, like, he doesn't have a character name listed, but he is listed as having been in.
But he would have played
Heimdall. No. I'm sorry.
Heimdall before Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's listed as having a role in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which would make
Oh,
sense.
okay. Yeah. There's some sort of like flashback, maybe
Some sort of
connection to
flashback.
Thor, I guess.
Yeah, I would say the connection to Thor, right? So, yeah, he's, I'm going to push forward my campaign again. Idris Elba for James Bond.
Yes.
Can we make that happen, please?
Yes, please.
But Jeffrey D. Morgan, going back to Jeffrey D. Morgan, he plays the head of the team in The Losers. He also is Keegan in The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Watchmen, the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
He was the comedian.
He was the comedian. Oh, man, such a good movie. He was Bruce Wayne's.
He's one of those guys that really looked the part.
He really did. He really did. In Watchmen,
he's got the mustache for it.
Yeah, he does. Way to go, Jeffrey D. Morgan. Yeah. He was Thomas Wayne in Batman versus Superman.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
yeah,
he's done a number of things. Apparently, he was in the TV show Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
As well. So there you go. That's it. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, by the way. He is one of those actors that I just really enjoy, and can watch in a number of things. We just recently started down the road of watching The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
all the way through. I started watching it years ago because I read the graphic novel and love the graphic novel, the trade paperback, of all the comics.
Yeah.
And he plays such a crazy role in that storyline. And so it'd be interesting to get to that point. But yeah, so that's a good one. Who else?
How about we got Forrest Whitaker, who was in Black Panther, and I don't know the name of the character there, but and then he's in Rogue One. So he like, as Forrest Whitaker has aged, he's become sort of that, like, he's playing that mentor kind of side role.
Yeah.
Back in the day he would headline stuff, but he's always been the guy that plays like the slightly off character a little bit, but he's such a good actor.
He is a great actor. Like Forrest Whitaker, I think he won an Oscar a number of years ago for his role as the butler in the movie The Butler.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I thought he won an Oscar. Anyway, absolutely phenomenal actor.
Yeah, and he can show up anywhere. That's a guy you would expect to have. I didn't run down the whole list of what he's done, because I'm sure his IMDb page is 100 pages long, because he's been in everything for decades. But he's the type of guy, he could show up in anything, in any franchise, and you'd absolutely believe him in that role and be happy to have him in that role.
Yes. Who else you got?
How about Andy Serkis?
Yeah, we can't go through this list without bringing him up.
So we just saw him as Alfred in the Batman.
We just saw him as Alfred.
He's Ulysses Claw in Black Panther and Marvel.
Yep.
Of course, he was the pattern for Gollum.
He was Gollum.
Right.
Like he was Gollum. Like he was the action.
That's true. Yeah. Right. With all the suit with all the bulbs on it or whatever.
Yes.
But he's doing the motions.
Right. He was also, we just realized he was Supreme Leader Snoke.
Oh, yeah.
In Star Wars.
So there you got DC, Marvel, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings.
And I feel like he was motion capture something else as well.
That's right. Like that was his thing for a while.
It was his thing for a while. And so when we got to finally start seeing, Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah.
He's like the main ape, right?
He was the main ape in Planet of the Apes. He was in Avengers Age of Ultron, remember? As Claw. Ulysses, as Claw again. Yeah. So he's
checking all the boxes there.
That is 100% checking all the boxes. And at the end of the day, I don't know how many people know this one, but he also directed Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
I did not remember that.
Yep.
Okay.
He directed Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So
Which is an entertaining movie.
I like that movie. I mean, we talked about it before.
Yeah.
And it's a
There's a whole
little,
podcast on it. We did a review on it.
we did a
Watch
whole
it.
podcast on it. But it's I like that movie too. I like the Venom movies in general.
Venom.
Yes. So
All right. There's one more big one out there.
okay, but I'm gonna before
Yeah.
I don't know who you've got on your list, but I'm gonna throw this out there because he was brought up already, and he has done a couple of different but crossed over into a different movie franchise. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay.
Right? Know him and love him as Tony Stark in Iron Man, but he was also Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, he was.
And those movies were a lot of fun. Oh man. And totally forgot. Well,
we're talking Sherlock Holmes, Jude Law. Wasn't Jude Law?
Jude Law's been in a number of things. Yeah. He wasn't
he Watson?
He was Watson.
And then of course he's the whatever character in Captain Marvel.
He's now in Harry Potter.
Right.
The Harry Potter universe as Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's like Jude Law's been in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Bettany as well.
Oh, okay.
His Vision.
Yes.
Yeah. He did a movie called Priest, which was a comic movie that was brought to screen. So he did another one called Legion.
Are those like vampire movies or something?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. He definitely, I have to say this, like my first exposure to Paul Bettany was a movie that I have grown to love. And it's like so much fun to watch. A Knight's Tale. Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
It's good.
Man, I need to. I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah. Anyway, your big one, Dave.
All right.
To wrap us up.
I think the big one left has to be Josh Brolin.
Man, yeah.
Because first of all, he's in the Marvel universe, both, of course, Thanos and Cable.
Yeah. Oh, good point.
Big roles in the Marvel universe, really. 2
huge roles.
Yeah. And it's, I love that in Deadpool 2, Deadpool calls him Thanos at one point just to break that fourth wall and be that guy, because of course.
It's such a good moment.
Right. But there's
also
a guy,
makes fun of him being shorter than like Thanos than Cable in the comics.
That's so great. So again, there's 2 characters you think you could pretty easily envision a scenario in which those 2 characters should be in the same place at the same time. And now what does Marvel do? But that's okay. So we got 2 roles in Marvel. I'd forgotten about this, but he's Jonah Hex in the DC.
And there's a reason you forgot about that.
Right. That's correct. Yeah.
Right. There's a reason you forgot about that.
Yeah. And then of course Gurney in Dune. Or Gunny. Yeah. Sorry, Gunny in Dune.
No, Gurney.
Gurney? Is it Gurney? Gunny? Yeah, Gurney. Yeah, Gurney.
Oh. You also have Jason Momoa in Dune and Aquaman.
Oh, true. Yeah, good point.
And Justice League. Yeah. So, but Gurney in Dune. Yeah.
Yeah. How about this list? Let's see. Josh Brolin was in Sin City 2.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Men in Black 3.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Mod Squad, which is kind of peripheral, but Hollow Man, which is again sort of peripheral, but it's a monster movie kind of thing.
It's kind of a reach.
Okay. He was in the Grindhouse Planet Terror.
Yes, he was. That's a phenomenal movie, by the way.
Yeah. He was in the Outer Limits TV show.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I think it's from a few years back. He played President George W. Bush, which is not a geek movie, but that's a thing. And I did not realize this. He was in Goonies.
How did you not know that?
I don't know.
How didn't you realize that, dude? I've seen that movie a million times.
I have not.
A
I
million.
saw it
By
like
the way,
one
Sean
time or something.
Astin's in that movie,
Yeah.
who is also in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Oh,
as Samwise Gamgee.
There you go. But I mean, I think the Thanos Cable Jonah Hex, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid. I think as we close out, we have to close out on the most recent addition to this list of people, and that would be Jared Leto.
We don't have to, actually.
Famously known for ruining the Joker and giving us
a terrible Morbius movie. No, well, let's be fair. We did in our review, we said that he actually was probably the best thing in that movie.
Yeah, that was a low bar though. I mean, if you're like a limbo champion, sure, like that bar may be so low, even you're like, nah, I can't make it under that.
Fair. But yes, Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Way to suck all the air out of the room there, John.
You know, though, I would consider Robin Hood to be kind of geek culture, a little mythology. You know where this is going, right?
Of course I know where this is going.
So Kevin Costner was in Robin Hood,
yes,
and in Superman.
Yes, true. Fairly. Oh, that's way to redeem yourself. Good job, John. That was well played.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kevin Costner, for being in our life for all.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin Costner. Can we talk about, by the way, I still think For the Love of the Game is like just amazing. I love Kevin Costner.
I love Kevin Costner, but For the Love of the Game is not his best baseball movie.
I don't know. I still go back and watch it.
Okay, but nothing's better than Bull Durham.
I mean, Bull Durham's great, but there are different points in his career.
Yeah.
And I think like the character reflects that beautifully.
Fair.
Like,
fair.
Yeah, it just so good. Who do we have coming up making debuts, however, in like the Marvel universe? I
don't know who you got in mind here.
Well, oh, dude, the crossover thing. That Aaron something that played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron is now playing Kraven the Hunter in the upcoming Kraven the Hunter movie.
Wow, I think his name's Aaron Johnson.
Yes, I believe you are correct. Aaron Johnson. Let's go cast, just double check that really quick. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson played Pietro Maximoff and is going to be playing Kraven the Hunter. Wow. So yeah.
Okay.
Right. And then the one that I was actually like kind of thinking of, because it's coming up soon, Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe.
Okay.
And because he's playing according to IMDb, he's going to be Zeus in Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And apparently he's going to be in Kraven the Hunter.
Really?
Yeah. And he was Jor-El.
Yes, correct.
In Superman.
Yeah, there you go.
He was
so why is it? So let's just a quick minute. Why do you think we keep getting all these similar actors in all these different franchises?
I think, for me personally, the reason I think that is that they have a certain physical presence that translates really well into this kind of universe. At the end of the day, I think that's what it is. Like, they just have like that ability to do that. Because, and I know people bag on Russell Crowe because he's put on weight and he kind of went off the deep end in his drinking for a while and everything else, but go back to Gladiator.
Oh my gosh.
He's
iconic.
Brilliant.
So terrific.
Brilliant. Go watch a movie called Master and Commander, by the way.
I remember that one.
I love that movie, and he is amazing in that movie.
It makes sense that for you as a Navy guy that you would appreciate that.
Yeah, movie. Right. But so he's done a number of things that I think you can look at and go, yeah, that makes sense. That's,
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm sure there's some marketing aspect to it too. If an actor becomes famous in one franchise, then there's some bankability there for whoever
Sure.
it is that's
I mean,
financing the movies for the next one.
Jason Momoa is crossing over into Fast and the Furious.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Oh, hey, Vin Diesel. Fast and the Furious and voice of Groot.
Hey, why can't I think of his name now? John Cena,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Peacemaker, and was a bad guy in Fast and Furious.
Okay.
So
Is Fast and Furious a geek movie? Geek culture movie?
I don't know, man.
That's probably a bit of a stretch, but
yeah, it's a franchise movie. I think more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, it's gone on, and I have to say, I'm a huge Fast and the Furious fan, by the way. Huge Fast and Furious fan. I had a little issue with Fast and Furious Goes to Space, but I gotta say, they released the like teaser picture, whatever the hell you want to call it, on Instagram for Fast and Furious 10, and it's like Fast and Furious and then a big X behind it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who else did that. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And that did not end well.
It does not bode well for Fast X.
Go back and watch Friday the 13th 10, and Jason Goes to Space. And there are going to be some people who are like, oh, it was such a good movie.
Oh, I just thought, you know who we missed?
Who?
Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah. Picard
and Xavier.
Dude.
Two. I mean, it's hardly, you can hardly get more iconic than those two.
How do we blow that one?
I don't know.
William Shatner. Not so much. Sorry, William Shatner.
Right.
I love you as Captain Kirk.
Of course.
But everything else you did.
We just don't want to be an ensign under you.
No. But I'll follow you to whatever party you're going to, as long as it's in a neutral system.
Yes.
Because if you're going somewhere that's sketchy
and we're the red shirt, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if Kirk walks into a bar in sketchy land, right, they're just gonna shoot the first ensign they see and continue on with the party. Holy geez. And we got to wrap up here, yes. But I'm going to end on this one because I almost completely forgot. And then talking about like going into like bars and starting fights, Nathan Fillion, Firefly.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Serenity.
Yeah.
He was the voice of Green Lantern.
Right. In the animated, and then Suicide Squad.
He was in Suicide.
He
was in Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. Right. As TDK.
Yeah.
The detachable kid. That was so good though.
Right.
And then his arms get there and they just are like, slapping him, everybody around.
Who thought up that nonsense?
I don't know. But the best thing I've ever seen Nathan Fillion, hands down, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Yeah. YouTube is your friend on that one, my folks.
Yeah, like everybody go watch that. Neil Patrick Harris is in it.
Yes, exactly.
Revised his career.
Right. Yep. All right, everybody. What did we miss? Obviously, we missed some others. Who did we miss? Who do you like to see in multiple franchises? Who isn't yet? Who's not on this list that should be? Mm-hmm. Like, who do you want to see crossover? That'd be
Henry Cavill. We forgot Henry Cavill. Yeah, Superman and The Witcher.
Yep. So there's tons. We know we've missed some. Let us know. Hope you have as good a time listening to this as we had making it. And until next time, we'll see you next week, true believers. Bye.
Bye, guys.